What's good with the YouTube? You already know, Big Flocka with a convict's reaction where I smash, dash, and react. Please hit the like, subscribe, comment, do all those things to help support this channel, and hit that bell notification for future fire content. If you guys didn't know, my ACP channel, right, got put on freeze because of some bullshit. Okay, they said I was harassing the channel. Okay, so yeah, me, the one that gets fucking harassed all the time. So check this out. I want to do a topic I think that's really important that people understand, right? And there could be some positive assessments taken out of this, right? For everyone, whether you're from up north or down south, right? And it comes from someone who's been negative towards the north, Bozo. Okay, it first started when he made that remark about if the numbers were even, the north wouldn't want fucking peace, right? Now that right there is a comment that he should take back, because if you really analyze that comment and dissect it, it makes his people look inferior. And I'm gonna explain why in a second, which they're not, okay? As well as the comment about recently about fucking that there's no voice from up north. Stay in your lane. You know what I'm saying? You know, us dudes that ain't active, we speak on whatever, because as long as we have respectful guidelines, whether people like it or not, and we're gonna do what we do. So first and foremost, and him saying that comment, to me, the first thing I took out of it was, okay, so everybody knows the Sureños are probably one of the strongest sub-factions under an organization in the system. MA is one of the oldest fucking organizations, strong as fuck, man, powerful, right? So if they're winning the war and the odds are in their favor, why would they bring the fucking North to the table then? If they're going to win the war. You see what I'm saying? You see how and now Bozo's saying that if the North were even, we wouldn't want peace. Well, why would you want peace if it was in your favor? You guys get where I'm going at? This had nothing to do with who was winning the war. The Norteños were actually the last ones brought to the table. It was about convicts, people that had like-minded ideals about making change for their people that have been locked down in the shoe, whether they're been labeled as gang members or falsely labeled. There's been people that have been down for like 20, 30 years, 40 years in the shoe. This was about bringing change. And see, after a while, you start to analyze things and get to know people in these environments. It's like living in a neighborhood. You start to get to know your neighbors. And you start to earn a little bit of respect. And over time, you start to realize that, man, hey, you know what? We're just hurting ourselves. They're the enemy. You know, Allah and all hostilities. Right? So think about it. You're saying if the numbers were even, the North wouldn't want peace. Well, why? You think does that mean that you see what I'm saying? The way he presents it, it makes no sense. You would think that if anything, they'd want to continue to fucking be the ones at the top. See, that's where it has nothing to do with who was winning or not. That's an ignorant comment. 45 years in struggle, the Norteños continue to exist on the streets and in prison. In 45 years from now, they'll still continue to exist in prison on the streets, unless there's a fucking drastic change that we don't know about. So what I'm getting at is this. These type of comments could spark conflicts, wars, guerra. And see, you talk about voice. This is why the Norteños don't have anybody that they allow to be a voice out there as far as speaking to the public. Because this was one of the most ignorant comments I've ever fucking heard when he spoke on that. First of all, you're saying that the North thinks that they're going to take the South, that their numbers are even. Well, why are you allowing them to come to the table if the numbers are that much more extreme in your guys' favor? It's not about all that. Nobody's winning this war. The Norteños continue to exist, just as the Bulldogs will continue to exist in their functions. Nobody wins. And I think these old timers realize that. This is about bringing something positive to different people, give people an opportunity to be on those yards, you know? And that's my opinion on it. And see, people with ignorance, that's an ignorant comment that he made. It's why there's no one that speaks for the North out there. First of all, the big homies consider that basically dry stitching or exposing things. You're saying that you have hella people that their voice speaks on this and that. That's a no-no with up north, man. And I'm not too sure that down south that they feel the same way. I think they actually feel the same way that the homeboys from up north feel. That's why you don't see people really talking about street politics or nothing like that on any of these channels that are fucking active. It's a no-no. You know, it's a definite no-no. You know, and I think that he needs to maybe stop, think, act, and reevaluate. Because now you're acting like you're the voice for your people, and now you feel that you have the liberty to speak on the North politics. You don't think that those big homies up north don't feel fucking a little bit offended? I mean, it's bad enough that you have us that are inactive that speak on certain things at times that they probably don't like. But there's also probably times that we do speak on things that they're like, you know what, fuck, I'm probably glad this dude's putting it out there because maybe this shit will stop. And see, you know, like I said a long time ago, none of these people I heard that try to pretend like they have any type of voice or any type of fucking say in anything have any say. They don't make the rules. Those big homies that are locked up, that are doing life, that have made a full commitment to whatever group or organization they're part of, they have the voice. They make the rules. And people need to realize that. There ain't nothing changing unless they say so. And those are facts. So something as easy as him making remarks like that made a lot of people feel a certain way. Even those of us that are not active, it makes us feel a certain way too sometimes. You know what I mean? Like, fuck, you know, we don't forget where we come from. At least I don't forget where I come from. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, my whole thing in my past has to do with personal things that happen amongst me and individuals. It didn't have to do with the whole collective, because the ideals and ideologies that are supposed to be put forth are positive ones. It's just the application of individuals who sometimes assent to rank and file, who abuse it, who do not, who do not hold it up to the standards it's supposed to be set, and are in authority positions, is where things get all fucked up and shit. So Bozo, he needs to stop fucking talking about anything to do that doesn't have to do with fucking his hood. You know what I'm saying? Because he's over there speaking on the North like it's the thing to do, man. And see, back in the days when I was active, I know things change. I get that, right? But when I was active, whatever was going on with the Sudanos, the whites or whatnot, we didn't involve ourselves in it. It was not our business. You know what I mean? Same thing with them. They would never discuss the North's business. Maybe they will amongst each other. But you're not going to go on the fucking middle of the yard. Oh, yeah, the fucking North have no voice. Fuck no. You're not going to. That's the whole thing that people stand against, is people meddling in their affairs. You know, and that's why you have prison politics. And the prison politics run the street politics. Everybody knows that. Those are confirmed facts. You know, so people get too ahead of themselves. And maybe this is for clout. Maybe he likes the attention. I don't know what it is. But that was one of the most ignorant comments that I've heard anybody's talking about anything to do with the North and South. Look at, what's his name? Young Dopey. He knows how to fucking walk and talk about prison and even North Daniels without disrespecting or getting involved in their politics. You don't hear him saying, well, they don't have a voice, they don't have this and that, because that's a no-no. A real convict knows that. One that's really been with the politics understands that. Not no level 3 or no level 2. One that's been in the back, in the shoe, you know what I'm saying? Or been on level 4, 180. You know, those people that have been in those environments know how things work. Everything else gets it gets all fucked up because you never know who's really out there and who's really saw it at times, you know? And a lot of those drugs out there on those líneas will change people on those lower levels. So this is just my opinion on everything, man. You know, sometimes people think that I hate on this dude Bozo. It's not that I hate on him. It's just that the way he talks about the North is disrespectful. You know, that comment was ignorant. You know what I'm saying? And his own people should be mad that he made that comment, because basically what he's saying is, oh, we have the numbers, but we're not winning the war yet. But if they have the equal numbers, then they don't want peace. Why wouldn't anybody want peace? People fail to realize that the North Daniels were never in this to seek war. All they want to do was have a foundation for their people to sit there and program and function without threat or interference from the opposition. If you know the bylaws, you know exactly what I'm talking about right now. Without someone telling you couldn't do this. That was the whole purpose of a lot of these NR soldados or North Daniel soldados in the beginning. They were supposed to be the forefront security to fucking hit that line and defend the people. It wasn't about trying to fucking win a war. No. The North winning the war is being able to go to every fucking yard that they want and being able to program without threat. And in that case, we did win the war then. Or they won the war. Because nowadays, there's no more fucking threats. There's no more hostilities. Homewoods can go to yard. Now the only threat that they have is within their own internal politics. Whereas for years, it was different. So in all actuality, the things that the North were striving for, in some senses, they've reached their goals. Think about it. I really didn't think about that till right now. All the North ever wanted was this, to be able to program, have the same equal opportunity, equal shares that every inmate has on that fucking yard. That's the whole philosophy of a Norteño behind the walls, to protect his people so they could enjoy the luxuries, go to school, better themselves, and be a better person, and not be threatened by any other group, and be treated the same, whether you were fucking black, white, yellow, green, whatever. That was the whole Norteño philosophy. So in a lot of senses, this end of hostility was able to reach the Norteños' goal. Now, the organizational stuff, that's something totally different. You know what I'm saying? But amongst North and South, that's been the goal the whole fucking time, man. And in some senses, if you think about it, the Norteños reached it. And I think both sides understood. I mean, especially the North. There's no way the North's going to overtake fucking Southern California fucking in prison. There's no way. We all know that. I mean, eventually you're going to have yards turn over and flip. And SNY was created, which kind of offset the push. Otherwise, there probably would have been by now, there would have been more yards that were just Norteño controlled, I think. I think it was getting to that point in the number game. But the SNY that created the things changed things a lot. You know what I mean? Especially people going to SNY. So this is my opinion. This is what I think about some of Bozo's remarks. And what I really think about, what's really going on now is it's about giving these convicts the time to fucking enjoy what they can instead of being back in the shoe. So if people want to hate on that, there's some stuff going on that I was just told about, that they're planning on closing, I think, 5 prisons or 2 prisons, and I think like 5 total yards. You know what I'm saying? And that's going to fucking force a lot of interactions with these groups. And what I was told, right, and this came from a correctional fucking staff, right, is that they're hoping that this creates, either they're going to end up having to get off as far as some of these groups, because now they're going to be putting STGs on the non-designated yards. Before, it was my understanding that some of the STGs were not going to be going. But you still have dudes that were part of those groups that would sneak out there. Now they're going to be putting everybody out there. This is going to change the element. And they're trying to force it to where there's only so many prisons people can go. What do you expect? They're going to lock everybody down. Like I said, once again, who's the enemy? The system. And now what does this create here? With stuff like the homeboys creating. It creates that friction. It creates that tension. So these are things that people need to really take heed to right now, man, because I talked to someone that's in the CDCR, and they said that it looks like they're going to deliberately try to force the hand and get these groups to go at it. Not the active side, but the actives versus the inactives. It's going to end up happening. There's a lot of stuff going on in the system that the public are blind to. And these are things that we really need to think about. Anyways, these are just my thoughts, man. This dude really needs to fucking, who am I to say anything? I'm just a person who used to be involved in that life and understands it. And so I know how these things operate. Well, this is not how fucking households are supposed to be operated. This is not how prison politics are supposed to be played. I know sometimes people feel on the streets they can speak freely, but there's always those listening that you're going to have to eventually have to answer for what you're doing. With that said, it's your boy Flacco. I'm gone.